Thank you for joining round the clock cricket with us. So we have Sudeep, we have Rahul, we have Sagar, and myself, Rajiv, who will be running this, moderating this extremely good session. What we hope to have a good session on the Lord's match. I don't know whether Kunal is going to join or not, but if he joins, then
I think Kunal
wonderful.
will join back. Yeah, Kunal will join back.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
so we'll welcome him. We also need him. So I know tempers are running. There is, I don't need to review the Lord's Test match. I mean, there's so much of content available with everybody, right? What is a review? क्या हुआ? In fact, day wise, session wise, सबने उसका बहुत ज़्यादा उसका. We have all gone through the emotions. Our WhatsApp group, if somebody reads it, I think for the last 5 days it may take one full day for somebody to read all the messages what we have put in, right? So I'm we are more interested, or probably as a group we are more interested in seeing how we look at this match at a very neutral sense, and second, what we can take forward to Old Trafford, because the match is over and then you take it forward there, right? So I'm going to start with you, Sagar. So thanks for joining. And if we take out the results out, right, results will always happen. I mean, it's sports, right? Sports. So one will win, one will lose. But looking at this series, and already people are comparing it to 2005 Ashes series, that it is getting very, very close and very, very tight. In this type of scenario, do you think it's talked about being the best for Test cricket? I mean, this is the kind of injection, or this is the kind of dope you need for Test cricket to emerge. Do you think that this is going in the right direction? I also want you to give a line about, obviously, about your emotions about Lord's, this match which went by, this Lord Test which went by. I don't want to rob off your the fact that what do you want to think and what do you say. But if the main question to you is this the best advertisement for Test cricket? So over to you, Sagar.
Yeah, so I'll not start off with the Lord's test of this series. I'll give you one small from my childhood, I would say. I was an avid Manchester United am still Manchester United fan. I still follow them even if they are losing. They were almost relegated. They were the 16th side last time around, but I still watch them. But in the late 1990s, early 2000s, they were the team to be beaten. At that point of time, Premier League did not get that much of viewership only because you start a season and you know it was Manchester United. There was no Chelsea, sometime here and there. There were the 1 year invincibles of the Arsenal team with Thierry Henry and everybody. So what happened is it killed a lot of that competition and the interest and that bit. It came back when Manchester United came down. Alex Ferguson stepped down. Manchester United started falling, and there was these a bunch of teams which started coming together and making a splash. Remember Leicester City winning the tournament? What odds? So taking all that, why I said that is because a competition will only induce interest, and that will only take a game forward. Tell me something. There are close to around 2,500 odd test matches played till date. As of date, only 9 test matches have had the first inning score same to same with of both the teams. Only 9. That's extremely rare. You can't have it. I mean, 2,500 odd test and only 9 of them. And not only that, all the matches are going on the fifth day. Forget about the fifth day. Even in Lords, we thought it would finish in the at least in the first, no, if not the first session, at least by the second session, middle of second session. It went on, whatever the reason may be, it went on till the third session. See, what it does is it is bringing back crowds back to the ground. That is where my whole thing. Forget about Ashes 2005. Bring 2021 Australia series down under. That to me was being an Indian, obviously. That to me was the pinnacle of Test cricket of a series. So you need to have that kind of stories. There needs to be a narrative behind every test. There needs to be a narrative behind every tournament, behind every series which is being played. And trust me, this series is actually bringing out everything which is required. The only thing I'm telling you, and I mark my words, I may be controversial when I say this, the only thing which was not coming out was being the needle. The needle came out in Lords on the end of the third day, and trust me, say fourth day, sorry, or third day, right? And trust me, say this series will look different. The last 2 days it looked different. The coming, and even with a week's break, it'll look way too different. And I love it. And the best part, what whoever the match referee was, he did not penalize Shubman Gill for what he was doing, what he said, what he did, because it was accepted. If you're playing a man's game, you need to have emotions. You just can't be a tattoo or a tattoo. जो बंगा हिंदी में बोलते हैं ना, टट्टू घोड़ा लेके तो नहीं जाने वाले, जाके अगर जा भी रहे होंगे तो वहां पे आप जीतने वाले नहीं होंगे. If somebody is giving you, please give them back. We are not living in a colonial world. Please give them back.
Yeah, I think day 3 was the end, the last 1 over, right? England did what was right. Yeah. England did what it was right. Zach Crawley had in his powers had
That's what
all the
Rahul
right
said.
to all the right to delay the game. And India also had the right to protest and say you are not supposed to do it.
Yes,
The next day, Akashdeep did it. England started protesting. So you're right. It's a man's game. So you need to have those emotions. And
let's
थोड़ा तो खून
over here.
थोड़ा खून का बहाव चाहिए भाई. ये डोप तो चलता है, right? Right, Sagar?
You are getting beaten. You just can't say, and you're actually representing 1.3 billion. You don't want to be knuckling down or chuckling down and people thinking you to be weak. You can't do that. And I'm very happy of what I saw after Virat Kohli. India cricket is in good hands. That's what my final take is. And my last statement on Lord's Test, और 2 हो जाए ऐसे, कोई बात नहीं, कौन जीतता है वो तो important नहीं है, और 2 हो जाए. And yeah, maybe I'll have my cardiologist around with me in case I get a heart attack or something.
नहीं होगा यार. ऐसा कुछ नहीं होगा. चलिए जी. So thanks.
Yeah. Kunal wants to take his question before. He's just put in the group. So I think we have to prepone, get Kunal and then Sudeep and me.
Yeah.
Okay जी, we'll go to Kunal. कोई टेंशन नहीं है. तो कुणाल जी आपके पास आते हैं. तो the way it is structured is कि गेम तो बहुत बढ़िया गया. So there's no doubt. So I want Kunal आप ना अपना emotions lot test के बारे में पक्का दें. सागर जी ने तो मतलब सागर told about the third day where the emotions went high and that was one takeaway you can say. So आप अपना emotions दें, but the primary question I'm going to put across to you is, see, bowling तो ठीक है, मतलब I know when we go towards Old Trafford we'll have the changes to be done and all, but बुमराह का अभी भी settled नहीं है. So everybody is talking he may not play, he may go to Old Trafford and he may not play Old Trafford, he'll go to Oval, and then you may have a couple of other changes also which India may look upon. My question is that why is Bumrah being made that entire? Why is everything centered around Bumrah? Can't we just keep it a bit low? उसको बोलने की जरूरत क्या है? Can't we let it remain? वो खेलेगा नहीं खेलेगा वो उस दिन बताएगा. You getting the point? So how do you think? I mean, is the dressing room? Is there a problem with our media or is there a problem with our dressing room? How do you see this entire thing coming across? But yes, the first thing is I want to know your emotions on the Lord test. Please do give that.
Kunal, you're on mute. Yeah.
सर परफेक्ट लग रहे हैं लेकिन अनम्यूट नहीं हो रहे आप.
अनम्यूट तो नहीं हो रहे बट कोई नहीं.
हो गया.
हाँ हो गया. हाँ.
Sorry. Yeah. Now it's okay. Am I audible?
Yeah.
So first on the emotions, when Shoaib Basir's that delivery rolled out to the bells, I was with Siraj on that moment. So Siraj definitely felt that it is the end of the world for him. It happened with me as well as a player. We lost a very close match. So definitely not at that level, but could relate. That is a heartbreak. We are emotional, we are fans, we outburst, but you would understand players definitely had emotions too. They manage it within themselves. We didn't want to. We sometimes say इसके वजह से ही हुआ है, इसके वजह से they are, trust me, when they lose the match, they are the most suffered individuals because it has gone through them. Siraj might not have slept for that night, I'm sure. He could have said कि उस बॉल को मैं ऐसे खेल सकता था, उस बॉल को मैं मार सकता था, उस बॉल को मैं पैर से रोक सकता था. There had been numerous multiple discussion over a dinner table and post that as well. कि मियाँ आप उसको ऐसे कर सकते थे, आप इसको ऐसे कर सकते थे. तो so I felt bad as India lost the match, but I felt very happy that we have never expected this Indian team to be played like this. We said this is a transitional team. This will put out some fight, but this is not fight. This is actually I'm equating with the team who are playing in their own lane with their old method, with their more stronger team, more experienced team than this young bunch of players. They brought the best out of them. In the 15 days of Test cricket, India had played 14 and a half days of wonderful cricket. Half day, one session in last day in Lords. They made this collapse. Otherwise, if you analyze the game from first test to third test, barring first test, England played really well. India paid the price of inexperienced attack, where Bumrah could not pick a second innings wicket and you lost the match. Second test, India dominated, won. Third test also, India dominated, equated 387, 387. Fourth, third innings, they dominated, bowled out them with under 200, all set. But there's a nerve. These players have not played much test apart from Ravindra Jadeja. You could see the nerve in the game. He played 81 tests and Bumrah played 46 tests, 37 tests. Rahul played 46 tests. You see their scores and the number of balls they have played. So it is the experience which only separated this game. If Washington Sundar had the similar experience of Bumrah or even Rahul, you could have won the game because you know how to play in these situations. Also, Ravindra Jadeja was stuck there trying to get as close as possible, learned from his old captain MS that go deep, go deep, go deep. And India lost by 22 runs. Trust me, 2 boundaries somewhere from leg side or offside make it 14. So it was not very far. It's simply 22 runs. And if you see, Gill, Washington Sundar, Nitish Reddy, Jaiswal, these are 4 players have not scored. You just need 5 runs more from them. That's it. You could have won the game. Anyway, that happens in cricket. We lost by 1 run also. So India played well. I'm proud of them, how they're playing this series. अभी एक ऐड आता है रोहित शर्मा का हॉटस्टार पे कि हमारा बच्चे सीखने नहीं गए, सिखाने गए हैं. Literally they are making their bad talk. And you please, we all go for the stats, go for the records. Please go and check. In last जितना भी foreign tour हुआ है अभी तक, whatever foreign tour we have so far, India have not played well as a batting side in last 2 to 3 years. Even if you have big names, India always collapsed 250, 240. India scoring 387 at ease. Even India out 160 for 4. The team is going through a very good, confidence. Now, banter happened between Greel and Crawley. Very normal. Because both are involved in the game so much. They want to win for the country. Nothing else. Personally, they must be a good friend. Like you have seen how Ben Stokes hugged Ravindra Jadeja at the end of the game.
True.
That shows one warrior is respecting another. So that's a cricket is a great level. It makes everything settle down when you are respecting the opponents. So that's about Lord's Test. Now regarding Bumrah, trust me, in the dressing room, people do not speak like this. Only one man show. They do not believe in that. Even Virat Kohli bats in the other end, you need a partner to run for him, right? I have opportunity to speak to Mr. SRT one day, and I asked him, why didn't you take a runner? Why have you taken a runner when there's a runner in 2003 against Pakistan? You miss a century. He said, that's my curse. I wouldn't have taken the runner. I could have scored the century. I said, how? You are injured. You are limping. He said, I was playing the ball, so I knew whether it is I played with a soft hand or right hand, whether the fielder is right-hander or left-hander, how good his throwing arm is. I analyze all this. So before my runner thinks it, I am 2 years ahead of him anytime, even if I am limping. So Kaif he has got no connection, no communication. How good I have hit. So that's the mindset of a player. He doesn't think of that I'm playing this game single-handedly. So Bumrah, same case with the Bumrah. If you have seen Bumrah in the second test, he was carrying drinks. If he has got this ego, he wouldn't have done that. And Bumrah had got a screw in his spine. So one guy screw in his spine, he has to protect his back. So now Bumrah initially must have thought of I'll play 1, 3, and 5. But Rahul also said sometimes earlier in the shows. But now Manchester is the northern side of the UK, which is a bit colder. So you can expect a bit of seam movement. I'm sure India is 2-1. If India makes 2-2, 1-2 makes 2-2, Bumrah has to play this test. Because you cannot wait for the last game. You cannot wait for the last game when a 3-1 happens. You just play for a formality of making 3-2. Doesn't make any sense for me.
Yeah. So exactly,
so Bumrah should play.
I was saying, somebody actually, was having a small chat with someone. They said Bumrah is playing the 4th. Please make qualms about it. The only question is if India wins 2 and makes it 2-2, that's where the question will come. And there's a 90% chance Bumrah, if not injured, will play the 5th one also.
If 2-2, still Bumrah will, because the 4th test will start in 3 days' time.
Yes, that's
so maybe the recovery time for Bumrah will be too late, too slow or too late. He might have a steep back after the 4th test or 5th test. So Bumrah play or not play shouldn't have been mattered. Akashdeep won the game for India in absence of Bumrah. That's quite a statement to the media. It's a media game because media wants to have a character in every series. So we can play Bumrah versus Root, Bumrah versus Crawley. So it shows that Bumrah is leading the pack. Absolutely yes. But there are other good bowlers like Siraj also rising up the occasion and bowling really well from the second test onwards. I'm really keen to see Arshdeep, but maybe they are reading the pitch well. Since there's no swing available in the air or the conditions, that's why they're not making Arshdeep to play. Maybe Kuldeep comes in, but with Kuldeep comes in, India is one batter shorter.
That is the problem with this team.
Yes. Because
that is the problem.
I am not unhappy with Karun Nair's performance. We might crib in. He actually helping you to take up the shining of the ball. He plays 40, 26, 30. Your middle order is not exposed to the new ball because of him.
And also, Kunal, the fact that he's been asked to play at a position he's not okay with, 3, right? He's playing at an unnatural position. So he's a team man. He's been asked, he's playing.
And he is getting a perfect start, 26, 40, 28. So he is taking the time off. But he's not able to convert because of the confidence. He has not played the international cricket for 8 years. Suddenly you come back in a high-profile series and you ask me to bat at not a used to position at number 3, which is a very, very important position. Because post Pujara, India's team management thought process is number 3 should play by a player who can rotate strike, play with a good strike rate, makes the game wider, not only play a sheet anchor role. So that's why you have not picked Rituraj Gaikwad, though he's injured. That could have been a nice number 3 player.
Or Devdutt Padikkal, although I have doubts on Padikkal.
Padikkal against the swing ball, there are a lot of tentativeness.
A lot of doubts, yeah.
But Rituraj Gaikwad has a very good technique. He's a similar play
I think number 3 ka yahi hoga ki see this England series you had to have some experience and that's why you got Karun there. And then the home series which will now happen, right? There'll be a host of home series games, right? वहां पे आपका decision बन जाएगा और you will have a 3.
Karun Nair का problem क्या है? Karun Nair का batting आप देखेंगे ध्यान से. Karun Nair front foot is not moving much.
Yes, that is
Karun Nair's front foot is planting because of confidence. He is planting his front foot and adjusting with his technique. So if he has to score runs, his foot movements has to be better. I could see his front movement is not there. He's been stuck. So that's why he's not able to. He was playing with the bat. He was fine. The moment he tried to play the ball with a pad, he got fixed. That's not absolutely.
That was bad.
If Karun Nair played that night, he wouldn't have given the wicket. India would have been 40 for 1 or 50 for 1 or 60 for 1. England could have been have a different test.
Yeah, yeah.
India are
Agree with
58
you.
for 4. That's taken the things. So Bumrah play or not play, I think for me, team management is not thinking in that way. Team management thinking, I have got alternative available. He's already established. I
Should
have
be that way.
Arshdeep. Yeah. So Arshdeep is in my armory. Kuldeep, I have Kuldeep. So maybe I go with two pacers and two spinner or three spinner in Old Trafford.
But Kunal, the
But
weather from Wednesday, the third, fourth, and fifth is very iffy weather, very, very cloudy weather. So I think they are asleep anyways. I don't
they
know.
will,
Think
they
this.
will.
No,
I
I
think,
think
yeah.
guys, sorry. You know what? I want to have a special preview of Old Trafford, just maybe 2 days before we start the test,
Sure,
so that
sure.
all this information, right, will
Will
flow
now then
from
come in.
yeah,
Yeah,
all you
yeah.
guys
Perfect,
have those
perfect.
information. I
So
think
Rajiv,
we'll be good
Rajiv,
there.
keep my story short. I'll just come back.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
yes, Bumrah is the key, of course, no doubt. But sometimes what happened when people put too much focus on Srinath, Venkatesh Prasad took all the wickets against Pakistan because
Yeah,
so that's the man, that Indian management is playing that game beautifully. They are putting Bumrah up front. So every player is concentrating on Bumrah's action, Bumrah's delivery, Bumrah's swing, where other the Akashdeep and Siraj and doing the tricks. Washington Sundar took 4 wickets because of this other
yeah,
end Bumrah's bowling. So this, even like batting, the bowling happens in pair as well.
yeah,
So you
yeah.
always see the great bowlers coming in duos, Wasim Wakar, Srinath Venkatesh Prasad, you know, Zahir Khan and Ashish
Ishant.
Nehra, Ishan
Yeah.
Sharma, Zahir Khan. So there's a lot of combination. Mohammad Shami, Bumrah. So this happens in pairs. So India actually missing that pair right now.
Obviously, that
If
is the problem.
Sami would have been fitter Sami would have got a fitter Sami. But I always back by my instinct. I always, if it's very tempting that if we could take Sami as unfit Sami is better than a fit Prasidh Krishna sometimes. Because he's got a
So
match
that was a
exposure. You
call
know
that
how
Ajit Agarkar couldn't take.
Ajit Agarkar,
Yeah, I
yes,
think.
Ajit Agarkar could not take the risk because he said Sami is taking injection
Couldn't
every
take the
day on
call.
his knees.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
not fit.
Hmm.
Otherwise, if he would have been fit, India would have taken the choice. So
But
Bumrah will
Kunal,
play.
I will ask you a question, final question before you go. Since you
Yeah,
have played cricket at a very high level, not Ranji, but just Binod Ranji, that listen to me. Uh, this is what I wrote in social media also. If Bumrah doesn't play, if I'm saying if first and second test 8 days break, third and fourth test 9 days break. So what is the logic when there is such a big break? Your body is resting. So why do you take breaks? Even we talk of first and second, which has happened. So there was India one is a different ball game, correct? But why did he take a break when there is already a 9 day break? As an ex-cricketer, why do you think why did he take a break? Normally you take a break between four and you take it. But why did you take such a big break?
uh, see, Bumrah is a legend. If I talk about his work ethics and schedule, it don't be fair to me because definitely he's operating in a different league and he wants to play for the country. He wants to take wickets and win matches for India. Of course, yes. Having said that, any kind of break, I feel as a being a cricketer or whatever level, you don't want to miss any matches. But problem is with Bumrah is that Indian team management has said, I want to use you wisely. So he has already declared I cannot play more than 3 matches.
So
Now,
in that
if
case,
you
why not 1, 2, and 4? Why 1, 2, and 4? He should have played because there was a long gap 1, 2, and 4. Why 1, 3? That's my question.
maybe
That's what a lot of people are
yeah
asking.
yeah
What?
maybe the pitches in Edgbaston has not encouraged him to play. Otherwise, if he's seen a green top, he would have been played. Maybe after seeing the wicket, we do not know the inside story of a dressing room. Maybe he was in the first 11, then Akashdeep comes in when you set a flat break, which Dex shoots the kind of a bowler who skids the ball, not like Bumrah, seam up. So maybe Akashdeep is typical a Shami kind of a bowler who skids the ball. So he's that kind of a metal. So Bumrah has really made a plan. I play 1, 3, and 5. Now series in coming
Correct.
and Lords where you are a decider on a 4th test, so he might change his decision. I'm sure kind of a Bumrah kind of player Bumrah is. He gives heart out when he plays for the country. How he batted in Lord's test, hats off.
I
Because
think Rajiv is right that we need to sit again because by that time we will have the idea clear. Because if you are right and I am right that Ashdeep will play, there's no doubt about it. Ashdeep will play. So if Ashdeep and Bumrah plays, then again one better shot. It
You
is
see,
one better shot.
Arshdeep
That's a
Bumrah will
huge
not play together. Arshdeep and Bumrah, Akashdeep, Siraj
Bumrah
will
won't
not play
play.
together.
No, see,
Either
I'll tell
Arshdeep
you
is,
what.
yeah, please, Rajiv, go ahead.
Yeah. See, I'll tell you one thing. They need that 8 batters. वो 8 batters की वजह से एजबैस्टन जीते और वो 8th बैटर की वजह से लॉर्ड्स गेम लंबा गया है उनके लिए.
Yeah,
तो वो तो खेलेगा वो तो they can't take that chance because that is a tactical and a strategic thing which has worked for them. तो वो तो नहीं लेके आएगा. But I think you are right, Rahul. I think we all have to wait for these news, all these things to settle down. 2 दिन पहले हम प्रीव्यू करेंगे. हमारे पास perfect information
with the
रहेगा and then we
data.
can have a far
See,
better
why
review.
I'm saying this, Rajiv, is then 2 players were resting the team, were carrying in baggage, Kuldeep Singh and Arshdeep. इतना talented 2 बंदे को लेके गया खिलाया नहीं. Then that question will rise, boss. That question
नहीं
will
वो
rise,
तो
Kunal.
खैर आई थिंक वो सब आपको ना 5th टेस्ट हो जाने के बाद सीरीज जब आपका खत्म हो जाता है व्हाट एवर बी द स्कोर लाइन उस पे तो सब कुछ आ जाता है देन इट इज लाइक एन अप्रेजल राइट कि कौन खिलाया कौन नहीं खिलाया देन यू गो टुवर्ड्स योर होम टेस्ट preparing better becoming more strategic right so I'm going to take a pause on this one I think we had enough Kunal thank you so much for that information on
Kunal, I
Bumrah I
think
think
you
if
can take
anybody
off. Thank you so much.
yeah, it was really very, very good information about how the dressing room thinks. It thinks far different than what we all think, right? So I'm going to talk about, you know, I'm going to go to Sudeep, and so one of the thing is that Sudeep ji, आप
Yeah, you
सुनो.
can move off, Kunal. Thank you so much. Good night.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah,
Sorry, I am
yeah.
taking
So
off
Sudeep,
because I
No,
just
no,
drove
no.
for 5 hours.
I know your reasons. Yeah,
I
sure.
drove for 5
Thank you so
hours.
much for joining.
So
yeah, no
270
problem. Thank
kilometers.
you.
Thank you,
Thank you so
everyone.
much.
Thank you.
Your Bumrah input was really invaluable.
Yeah.
Really invaluable
Thank you.
input. Yeah. Thanks,
Thank you.
Kunal.
Thank you.
Right.
Yeah.
So Sudeep, I'm coming to the see when there is a test match, right? There is a winner, there is a loser, right?
Yeah.
So while we know that it was a great test, we all are saying that India put in its efforts. It is just that we came second. We can't help it. I mean that's always going to happen. But then there are some tactical errors done by both the teams. I'll give you 2 errors. One everybody speaks about Pant getting run out in the first innings, and second Brook offering his wicket to Akashdeep in England. So either if India had won, everybody would have gone behind Brook. You gave away your wicket, right? These are tactical mistakes which both the teams did. But then England won and India lost. So I want you to specifically say where you think the team won, England won the match, and where do you think India lost the match? So maybe you can take it forward. Obviously, you have all the right to give that emotion of how you feel on this Lord's test. आप कुछ खाने पीने जा रहे हैं लग रहा है सुदीप
नहीं उसका बैटरी खत्म होने जा रहा है बैटरी के लिए yes move this place
So just one thing, it was a very competitive match and a very closely fought one. So both the teams played very well. There are a couple of factors which played a part where England won, as you are saying. The one thing when India is batting in the 4th innings, I think it would have been better had India had a 40-50 runs lead in the first innings. That would have been at a big plus point, because batting on the 4th innings is always difficult in any test match. Fourth, it is a tremendous pressure. However small the total is, when it's creates a lot of pressure, and India does not have a very good record batting 4th in any test. They have won, I think, last out of the 26, 28 tests, I think they have won only two, I think 27. So this is one
two out of
factor.
27. 2 out of 27.
Yeah. And one major factor, I think, which I would like to point out in this particular match, it's a very low scoring match. And what created a big difference is India, conceded 63 extras in 2 innings. In a low scoring match, which is, people are not even scoring 400 runs. This 63 runs, it's a big thing. And there were a lot of buys. In this 63 runs, extra is create. I think it added up to the England total, and things could have been different had some kind of control was there by the Indian bowlers. Another thing, what I feel is that this Jofra Archer's bowling in the 2nd innings was a revelation. Coming from an injury, he was simply he tore apart. the Indian batting lineup, with his raw pace. So that was a big plus point, and that it unnerved the Indian batting lineup. This was one of the factors, and I personally feel, the Washington Sundars, the stunner which Jofra Archer took, had Washington Sundar stayed at the wicket for some more time, I think we could have won the match. So that was also a turning point.
Sure, sure. I think you brought up really good points, which not many people are speaking about. एक आपने बोला कि Jofra Archer suddenly in the second innings he just picked up
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he came as if जो 3-4 साल पहले जब खेल के आया वापस उस rhythm में आ गया मतलब that is very difficult to do
And
but he
raw
did
pace,
he
एकदम
showed
raw pace, which was
हाँ हाँ
unnerved.
मतलब जायसवाल तो हाँ देख ही नहीं पाया एंड यू आर राइट वॉशिंगटन सुंदर पे एक्चुअली मुझे लगता है ना वॉशिंगटन सुंदर पे वो ना एक प्रेशर आ गया था क्योंकि उस दिन
हाँ,
पिछले इवनिंग को ही जस्ट प्रेडिक्टेड नो वी विल विन हम 5 बैटर
yeah,
हम
yeah.
करके दिखाएंगे ये वो
हाँ,
करके
वही
तो व्हेन ही केम ना ही वाज रियली मतलब उसको थोड़ा वो नर्वस हो गया
प्रेशर
एंड
हो गया
दैट्स
हाँ
वेयर आई
और
थिंक कुणाल्स पॉइंट वाज
that's
वेरी गुड कि एक्सपीरियंस प्लेड अ बिग पार्ट अगर वो रहता था थोड़ा he's
हाँ
a he
वॉशिंगटन सुंदर रह
Washington
जाता तो
Sundar is a guy who yeah he puts a price on his wicket वो इतना आसानी से
yeah,
देता
yeah,
नहीं है
yeah.
वो but anyways
So
that's how it
unfortunately,
is
he was out for a stunner of a catch, So,
yeah
and this extras, I think extras played a big part, 63 extras in a low scoring match. It's too much.
yeah so
It's a bit too much.
do you
It's on
think
a,
वो मतलब do you think अभी वो coaches and all they'll work on these extras part उनको
extras
करना
part.
चाहिए कि you think it is just a one off thing which
It's
happened
I think it's a one-off thing, but this played a part, this
yeah
played
yeah
a part when you,
And the worrying part, Rajiv, is that we speak highly of Dhruv Jurel, which is right, because he might take over. This is a discussion. He might take over from Pant also in some time, but Pant plays only as a specialist batsman. For a man who's spoken so highly by Gavaskar himself, 29 buys, which Sudeep was saying,
yeah,
29 buys.
yeah
yeah, that's a
That
big
was
thing.
bad.
yeah
It's
Yeah.
and it's going to go
yeah
against him now because if and India has lost, so it is a bad
I
thing
have
for
a
him.
different viewpoint over here. Out of the 29 buys that he had, what I would say, he had conceded, you simply can't put it on this guy, poor fellow. Think of it. He was in his trainers. He was most probably mentally only prepared to bring some drinks. Suddenly put in the cauldron, number one. He does well in the first innings. Then second innings, pitch up and down.
yeah
England, last moment after the ball passes the batsman, it swings. The bowlers also, you have to also see the bowlers also did not the buys which he got, except I think one which cut across this guy, I think Brook or someone from the off stump, and then that's the one which he could have taken. I mean, at least four of the buys, that is 16 runs that we conceded, were, I don't think, I mean, even Healy would have also got through. The ball pitched leg side, swung after the batsman, had it crossed the batsman, and even with a full stretch dive, he was nowhere close to it. You have to also, I mean, also, it's not about just Dhruv Jurel. It has to be also with how the pitch was on that day. The bowlers also losing a bit of control. Also, again, inexperience. That, I mean, just my take on
नहीं
it. Let's not
so
crucify that guy only for one.
नहीं
Uh,
सागर सागर पॉइंट वेल टेकन यू आर राइट कि हर चीज पे एक बंदे पे सब कुछ डालना ठीक नहीं है इट्स फेयर पॉइंट बट देन दिस एक्स्ट्रा थिंग इज it's too big a number to
it's true. It's true.
not
I'm
not talk
not
about it.
saying
I
at no
think the
point.
coaches have to go back and see
Yeah,
कि was it just a one off thing or
yeah.
कुछ उनको पता होगा उनको
उनको
obviously
पता
पता
होगा.
होगा कि हाँ उनको पता होगा कि क्या हुआ करके
Hey, I am
right
completely in agreement with what Sudeep is saying. The match may have turned because of these extras. Agreed.
yeah yeah
No doubt about that. My only thing is, let's not put all the fruit in one basket because there are a lot of
yeah
other aspects attached to it. You
करेक्ट
have to
करेक्ट
see
करेक्ट
how much
नहीं
of
नहीं हार्ट टू हार्ट हमको सबको पता है कि इतना गलती होने के बाद भी 193 वाज चेजेबल ना तो उसमें
chase. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was.
कहानी वही स्टोरी वही खत्म है आप कितने
Yeah,
भी पॉइंट्स ले आओ बट
yeah.
आई वांट टू ब्रिंग राहुल सी राहुल मैं सी आप इंग्लिश क्रिकेट को अच्छा फॉलो करते हो आप देखते हो आपके काफी फ्रेंड्स भी हैं वहां पे कंडीशंस देखा हुआ है वो नाउ while we can go and dissect what India did not do and how we went about and all but there is we have to give credit also to the winning team right which is England, who despite not having the best of attacks which they in this series, इससे better attack हो सकता था, but यही है जो है उनके पास. जोफ्रा आर्चर 2-3 साल बाद खेलता है, अराउंड 50 odd मैचेस के बाद आता है वो. So it is not the best of conditions, but the man who made it possible was Ben Stokes. इसी 14 जुलाई को 6 साल पहले उसने एक अमेजिंग इनिंग्स खेल के फाइनल जिताया था इंग्लैंड को, राइट? इस आदमी में क्या है? what does he have, man? I mean, he looks like a man of steel. He will make it happen types, right? That run out, 2 विकेट, मतलब एक ही स्पेल में, मतलब एक सेशन में कोई 20 ऑड ओवर्स फेंकना, मतलब एक सेक्शन बोले तो मतलब एक 9 ओवर का सेशन और एक फिर 10 ओवर का स्पेल डाला, वेरी वेरी क्लोज बाय, राइट? वी ऑल स्पोक अबाउट कि कैसा बुमराह 6 ही ओवर कर सकता है, आर्चर 5 ही ओवर कर सकता है, सब बोल रहे हैं. यहाँ पे हम कह रहे हैं कि स्टोक्स थोड़ा सा इंजर्ड भी है, इज नॉट द 100% फुलेस्ट, बट आदमी में जिगरा बहुत है. तो आप, I want you to talk about England. Obviously, again, I'm saying that you also have, you can put your Lord's Test review emotions, put your emotions, but also talk on a perspective of England, that how they made it happen, how could they snatch this victory, though they were behind India for most of the time, and how did Stokes outbeat, how did he beat India? So over to you.
Thanks. It's a good question, Rajiv, and it is a bit of a controversial question. Also, you put me in a spot of bother, being an Indian. But I'll tell you, two things into it. Indian media, again, I'm going into Indian media. I think they misread Jeffrey Archer. After 4 years, he plays after 4 years with only one 30-over match in a county. We all thought that he will not be able to play. Even if he plays, he will be half-fit. But he came steaming in, and the ball which he bowled Rishabh Pant was 94 miles. So even if he was injured, even if we understand he was injured, he was in a position to bowl. So the general feeling which I get from the media people, and media will be biased, the English media is biased, Indian media is biased. So in general, the feeling that came up was, and which I shared also Mohammad Kaif's tweet, and Mohammad Kaif is a neutral guy, that, and which I personally felt that Shubman Gill springing to show that finger, Sagar has discussed about it. I, as a neutral observer, will say that he could have controlled it a bit. I'm not saying that you will be chickening out, as Sagar said. You will not chicken out. That, I think, spurred the very insipid, till then very insipid England people. When you were back against the wall and you were in such a very close, where the margin of error is almost 0.5, when anywhere the match could have gone. So it has happened before. I will tell you, Kapil Dev took 5 injections in the 82 Melbourne Test. India were bowled out for 120 or 130, if I'm not remember. And Australia was bowled out for 83 or 84. They were bowled under 100. Kapil took 5 for something, 5 for. That was his first 5 for. And he took 4 injections in that test to bowl out England. I'm not saying Jofra Archer is Kapil Dev, but there are 2 things that happen. When your back is against the wall in any sports, when you have nothing to lose, you produce some of the best performance. One. Why I'm saying this is because I think now most of the people are saying, in general, fans, that Shubman Gill's that fingering is good for Indian cricket, but he mistook it. My personal take, if you ask me, he thought for that moment, he thought he was Saurav Ganguly. Saurav Ganguly did these things when he was into his captaincy for quite some time. My only problem with Gill is he's into his 3rd match as captain. So he's 25 years old. I'm hoping he will be captain for 5-6 years. So I think he has to, because if you remember, Mahendra Singh Dhoni, he never did that. He kept winning matches, no reaction. Sometimes I also felt, no reaction after winning matches. So that is one thing Gill has to learn. And I think the point why England won is one of the reasons was he spurred the attention. You keep on fingering people who are already fingered, then this happens. That's one. But that is not the whole story. Ben Stokes is coming to the end of his career. You have to understand this philosophy also. See, Indian cricket, star culture hai nahi, jaisa Indian cricket mein hai. So English cricket is like Australian cricket. Thank you, bye-bye. You know Ian Healy. Why I'm taking a little bit of time. Ian Healy was not given a farewell test because Adam Gilchrist was breathing down his neck. And Ian Healy has written that in his autobiography. I have that one. And he has written it all over the world. After serving Australian cricket for 11 years, मेरे को एक retirement test नहीं दिया. And in India, we give retirement test to Anshuman Gaikwad, who played 40 tests. He's passed away, but that is it. Ian Hill is one of the greats of the game. So England is very clear. Bhai, tum nahi khel rahe ho, you have to quit. And after that 19, and you were right, in the baseball, England has lost a lot. If you remember the Rajdeep Sardesai show also, baseball is very attractive. But there are times when it goes to sinks the floor also. They have won 26-17 or 23-17. They have almost the loss-win ratio is 55 to 45. And if India would have won this test, then Brandon McCullum's job was on the line, because they have other people. Because since I follow English cricket, I know Rob Key is going to probably have someone else, which we are not sure now. So I think Ben Stokes would be a character from Hamlet, maybe. If you have read Hamlet of Shakespeare, I'm sure. He was like, I mean, I just read it that's what I was reading. I was reading in BBC and Guardian. He was just clear about it that I was not tired. You rightly said that 11 over spell and that 9 over spell for a person who was injured and who did not bowl in the last 2 years, suddenly to do it, I mean, there are two ways. Either you've taken a cortisone injection or you've taken some dope, or you were extremely motivated. For me, I think the motivation came from the very fact that they were charged badly. They were badly charged with that real incident, which I think also pushed them to perform. For Stokes, it was very critical. I'll tell you, Stokes almost looked like that he was on the first day of a test, but he was very fresh, but he was not fresh. He was mentally and physically exhausted. He's 35 years old. He cannot be fresh like a 21-year-old. But his mental state was at a very high dope state because he wanted to win it, because he knew the series was on stake. It's for stake for Gambhir, it's stake for much for Gill, but it isn't stake for Gambhir as much as it is in stake for McCullum. So that is one. And the second, I think, very importantly, the spell of Jofra Archer, which you put down, I think it is very, very critical. We miscalculated Jofra Archer, and rightly so. 4 years out in Bangladesh. I see one cricketer you would like to compare Jofra is Varun Aaron. If you remember Varun Aaron. Varun Aaron, 95, 96. He was at some point clocking 96, and then he faded away because he couldn't, his body didn't give. We thought, and Sagar was discussing this in the earlier podcast, that how will Jofra come? And we had a fight, me and Sagar, that I said Jofra will come. He said, no, Jofra isn't injured. So Jofra, we bowled at a speed which cannot happen unless he was injured. So Ben Stokes, I think, not only marshaled his team well, also had his back against the wall, in which he had no other option but to perform. And of course, see, this gives him a lot of oxygen now, because the Ashes, let me tell you, I think could be the last series for a lot of Australian players and for Ben Stokes and a lot of players, except Root, because Root is 34. I see Harry Brook, because I follow English cricket, I see Harry Brook as the next captain. He's already a white captain. He will be the rest ball captain because they rate him highly. And Ben Stokes knows that his name might be in the very corner. So to prove and to give a performance like this, and he knows it's like Bumrah. You know that you are pushing your body to the end, after which you have a 9-day break. And then when you break down, it's okay. I think it was an inhuman I would say inhuman show of power, mental strength and resilience, because he knew that the end was near. It was the 5th day of a test. Had this been a 4th day, I do not think, we were discussing, and paper mein sab ho raha hai, bowl. He was not stopping. I don't think this would have happened on the 4th day test. So Ben Stokes is a very difficult character of English cricket. He took over from Joe Root, because when Joe Root did not like the captaincy, it was not that he wanted to go. He had 64 test matches like Virat. He had a huge long stint after Alistair Cook, and he had a good turnaround time also. But he wanted to concentrate on batting because he wants to break Sachin's record. He's already, I think, 100 short of Dravid. Number 2, number 3 is almost breathing down Jack Callis' neck. So Stokes, I think, is a very phenomenal career and a phenomenal character. The only plausible explanation is that he knows his time is almost running out with baseball, which again, I keep on repeating, very attractive, but doesn't give you results. So I think Lords for Stokes was make or break. And when it happens in our personal lives also, when we are pushed against the wall, we perform. So I think for this performance of Stokes, I do not see it coming in Manchester. I do not see it coming. Let me tell you very clearly. If it does come, then it has to instill or augur a very simulation performance, because I think they are going to either bring Atkinson or Liam Dawson, depending on the pitch. If it is, I'm still thinking they will get Atkinson for a strong player, because it's going to rain a lot in Old Trafford. So that performance, I think, is a performance of a man who can see his line nearby, and he has to perform. Otherwise, he will be out by Ashes. Over to you, Rajiv.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. बहुत अच्छा सम अप किया राहुल आपने, बहुत बढ़िया. और एक चीज बोलूंगा मैं, for both me and Sagar, we were talking about the Edgbaston test where we thought that Jofra won't come. In Lords, we were also pretty sure कि आ जाएगा वो करके. वो Edgbaston एंड का टेस्ट नहीं आ पाता करके हमको लग रहा था, तो वही बात वो था। दी सेकंड पॉइंट आई थिंक स्टोक्स के बारे में आपने सही बोला कि, एंड इवन वी फॉरगॉट अबाउट ब्रेंडन मैककलम, जो आपने सही बोला कि व्हाट हैपेंस इज दैट दीस टू देयर 2 WTC हो गया, लंदन में ही 3 WTC करवा चुके हैं, एक भी बार इंग्लैंड पहुंचा नहीं है वहां पे। नाउ दे हैव टू गेट देयर, अदरवाइज दिस थिंग्स आर नॉट गोइंग टू, पक्का है कि कोई ना कोई निकाल देते, या तो स्टोक्स को निकाल देते या ब्रेंडन मैककलम को देते। तो yeah, that whole thing was, but it was wonderful to see some character, and Stokes really bowled well. I had one question, and I wanted to ask about Old Trafford, but I think we'll do the preview and then close it there. This last one question is for everybody, and I've been asking few people. I think it's the right thing to ask all of you. I'll start with Rahul. Maybe you can speak a couple of lines, and then Sagar, and then Sudeep, and we'll close this session. Is that when you saw how Mitchell Stark bowled, right? I mean, the West Indies was bowled out for 27 all out, right? I was just amazed by this fact that Mitchell Stark, Cummins, Hazelwood, they come ball last 6, 7 years. They've never stopped, man. I mean, in fact, Stark is going on for 10, 12 years. They never stop. So, can India find a way? I'm not pinpointing on Bumrah, because as Kunal mentioned, he's a special thing. He has an action which is different. All those stuff is fine. But my question is that, can India learn something on how bodies or these fast bowlers can actually push themselves better? And I'm not talking about England, what Stokes did. Stokes was more of a mental factor. But I'm talking about a medical thing or something which India can, or maybe they're doing, you can throw light on it, that what is happening. Because I was amazed that how come Stark, they ball. It's amazing. Hats off to them. So Rahul, your thought, and then I'll go to the others.
Yeah, I think one line you have to understand, Rajiv. West Indies cricket has reached a level where it has to only look up. It's gone down. Indian cricket will never ask Sunil Gavaskar, although it will never ask Gavaskar Kapil to intervene. You can understand it has reached that level. They're asking an 82-year-old Clive Lloyd, a 71-year-old Viv Richards, and a 53-year-old Brian Lara to come and intervene. So rugby, baseball, futsal, whatever they're playing, they are not concentrating on cricket. Cricket has died from 1995 in West Indies when Viv Richards, Richardson, that era went off. So West Indies cricket, with due respect, I think without minus Bumrah, this Akashdeep, Arshdeep also will bowl them for maybe 27, 77. So when you are talking of the 27, you also understand the quantity of balls they bowled. In all the 6 innings that Australia won, none of the test, I think, innings went over 80 overs. Whereas India has bowled 100 overs number of times already in this series. So the duration for a pace bowler is important. Bumrah has already bowled 42, I think, before the start of Lords, 41.4 in the first test. So if the duration becomes a big factor, then the preservation, as Kunal said, is very important. And that is where we need 3. I've been harping on this from BGT also. We need 2 more bowlers. It can be PK or Akashdeep, or it can be Akashdeep or Prasid, whoever. Maybe I think we missed Mukesh also. We missed Mukesh Kumar also. So the longevity portion is directly proportional to the quantum of cricket that you play at the highest level. And not everyone is Kapil Dev, and Kapil Dev did not play T20. And not everyone is Richard Hadley, who at the middle of his career cut short half his run-up. And not everyone is Wasim Akram. They're gifted. They're extreme examples of gifted. And Richard Hadley is one of the greatest, because he was to run from the boundary, then he cut it down half, and in his latter half of his career, he got 280 wickets in his last 6 years. He is one of the greats of the game. So to answer your question, one way, I think the longevity portion is how you factor it. If you look at Hazelwood, Cummins, Stark, 34, Cummins is 34, Hazelwood 35, and Stark is 36. They're coming to the end of their careers, almost. So again, the same question as I said for Stokes. And the West Indies thing is the fact that they will not last up 50 more than 50 overs. The problem with West Indies is they are not going to last. So any pace bowler, if I was Bumrah, I know 5 good overs, 4 wickets. You understand what I'm saying? So my body is not excited to risk. Whereas if I play Australia, I have to bowl 110 overs. So my body is already breaking. So that, I think, is a problem. West Indian cricket, you cannot take as a ballpark example of what is happening. If this performance of Australia was with New Zealand, was with India, in India, and Stark picked up 5 wickets in a belter like Ranchi, or a belter like, say, Delhi, a spinning track like Firozshah Kodla, I would have agreed. So I think I've made my point clear.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
on the
No,
same line.
Sagar, I'm coming to you. I just want to rephrase a bit why I bought Australia as a specific thing. These guys play Champions Trophy, they play T20 World Cup, they play Test cricket. I agree 100% to what Rahul said that they bowl less overs. You know, 27 all out happened within 14 overs. Cummins never came to bowl also. So I'm in agreement with that. But I'm saying that these guys do something specific, special, or something very.
I'll come to that only, but I mean,
Yeah,
I
I
put
want
in
you
the
to. Can India
medical
learn
side
from
of
them?
it
That's
and the
what.
genetic
Because
side.
if I'm just saying, if India, a couple of bowlers of Indian bowlers can last all these five tests, then that experience, right? You will have better bowlers. That's what I'm saying. That's the
True,
reason.
true. So I'll come to the medical and the more importantly the genetic side of it. And I'll come back first. I'll go to West Indies of the 80s, 70s, and 80s. See, West Indies by default they're like 6 feet 5, 6 feet 6, huge. I mean, even if they do not, and that's by design, even if they do not hit the gym, they'll have a muscular body because they have that habit of running on the beaches. They're playing cricket on the beaches. It's not easy to play because your feet get stuck and you're like stuck over there. And then to jump out and take a catch, it's not easy. If you ever if you next time go to a beach, try just lifting your leg from a wet wet sand. So first thing is your genetics. The Australian genetics, the English genetics, English is different, I will say. The Australian genetics, the West Indian genetics actually allow them to have that physique, that and see it is all about body mass, BMI, with body mass index. You bring that to India, how many Indian would be above 6.3? There won't be much. Now what happens again, bringing up Varun Aaron, what happens to that? He bowls fast, cannot because your body mass index does not allow you to put that stress and strain on your muscle and on your thing to take it to that level. Indians never bowled beyond somebody touched 140 in the 1990s or early 2000s, there would be like thousands of people running after them to see and going to the ground to see अच्छा ये 140 में बॉल करता है. Bumrah started off at 150. Varun Aaron at 152, 153. Ishant Sharma, Nehra. There are lots of other players. They were fast, but the Indian body structure, that's my point of view. I mean, I'm not a doctor, but the subcontinental body structure does not allow you. A Chaminda Vaz, even a Wasim Akram, Waqar Yunis, they were not big built guys. You can do how much of gym training. There is something which you cannot change is how much your head weight is. And we don't realize your head weight is extremely important in every form of cricket, in every form of sports, swimming, cricket. बोलते हैं ना आपका head आगे चला जा रहा है. You think about a West Indies guy and an Indian guy. Put Curtly Ambrose, put Kapil Dev. You see the structure, you can't help it. I mean, that's my personal but again, do you give everything up to that? No, I don't think you should. There's definitely science, medicine, sports medicine which can help, but only to a certain level, not beyond. So I think India, and anyways, India is a 1.3 billion country. Somewhere or the other, we'll find one or two more cricketers, and we will not find another 5 or 6 cricketers who could have represented the country because there are so many of them and so far flung. We might not end up actually finding that talent also, if the talent is around. That's the other side of it.
Great. Thanks. No, it's a good point. I think genetically we are probably not made, and you also added the example of Sri Lanka also, and to a lesser extent Pakistan. I think Pakistan has started their genetics is slightly
Their
getting
genetics
different,
is because
probably
they have
because
the Punjab side of it, the Sindh Punjab.
yeah, correct. So I think yeah, it's a good point
Pathans.
that
The Pathans
our
are
body is not made that way.
yeah.
Sudeep,
Another
last
thing is
I'm closing
another thing
with
is,
you.
there is too much cricket nowadays. It puts a lot of
Yeah,
pressure on the
true.
bowlers. That is the biggest factor. And what has happened, see, Australia, as far as Australia is concerned, see, they have three
थोड़ा
Indian
mic ऊपर
bowlers.
sir.
Huh. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, see, Australia have a very supporting bowling lineup. One supports the other. Whereas if you see Bumrah, whenever he plays, the others fade into the background. So that puts additional pressure on Bumrah. That is a big thing. And plus, this too much of T20 cricket, IPL, ODI, everything, it puts a pressure. You don't see an Australian bowlers playing so much T20. They have a separate team. I mean, Mitchell Stark hardly plays for T20 cricket. Hardly plays, but Bumrah plays it, provided he's fit. So you have to consider these things also, apart from what are the other genetics and other things which we discussed. I think this is one of the major factors, which is putting too much pressure on Bumrah. I mean, whenever he plays, there is no supporting cast, who can support him. This is a big problem.
Correct, correct. Right, so let's close this. I think it's a long podcast. We planned for a shorter one, but it's gone long, and I think most of us is that emotion which brings along and what we wanted to speak. So thank you guys. Thanks for doing it, Rahul, Sagar, Sudeep, and then we will probably go back and
Thank you so
thank
much. Thank you.
Kunal on the WhatsApp group. Thank you guys for doing it, and we hope to see India doing well in Manchester. We'll have a preview about it, and that time I hope Rahul and Sagar, we depend on you to get a lot more information on how that test is going to pan out. Right. So thank you so much. And
I said 21st. Yeah, we should 21st.
Yeah. We heard you. Heard you.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Right. Thank you so much. And
Thank you so
bye-bye.
much. Yeah.